And at that time, as I can remember, one person should start recording. That is how it is automatically recorded. Just give it a try or follow the other instructions that you have received. Okay, Galle, good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon. I hope those who are joining us through Teams can actively take part in our lecture today. This is the first time that I'm using this technology also, so that from the beginning there will be little issues, some of the issues, but let's try to overcome this. Another thing, I'm sorry for delay in uploading the handouts. Hope you can find them from the LMS now, right? You can log into the LMS and can find the lecture materials now. You may get 2-3 minutes, right? And use your mobile phone, have the soft copy, so that it's easier for you to refer. So those who are joining with the join through the Teams, please find the lecture materials, which is the course outline, and then handout number 1 from the LMS. They have not started yet, so you can be doing. You can find the lecture materials from the LMS. So can one of you tell me or explain me rather why this exemptions program? What subjects are accepted for this group? No acceptance. No acceptance. There are some, right? Some subjects only. That is, we are not completing all the subjects in a semester. Only a few. So this semester, how many subjects are there? 4. Operations management, audit and assurance. Okay. Corporation. There are 4. And other than that, I think the lecture content is same, right? Normal program as the normal program. So that we will try to cover at least 10-12 topics that are mentioned in the course outline of your student handbook. Right? I have uploaded that copy to the LMS. You may find the topics that we have to cover under this subject. What is the subject we are going to cover? Yeah, it's operations management. Operations management. For students here at SME specializing in accounting. Right? So we will cover the number of topics mentioned there in the course outline. So we will start our discussion today with the introduction to operations management. Are we ready? Could you find it? Pulamad? we haven't started yet, so that you can quickly join with us. You may find the same lecture materials from the LNS. Use your mobile phone and the soft copy. That's enough. You can find the course outline and lecture material for the handout number 1. Had your lunch, right? Feel sleepy? Tidak jelas, tidak. You can use your mobile phone time to time and refer to the slide numbers. Write down additional points if needed. Right? Yeah. Operations management. To just have a look at on the course outline, you may come to know the topics that we have to cover under this subject. For a set of students specializing in accounting, some of these operations management topics may not be that relevant, right? However, as a part of your degree, you have to cover this part. In addition to that, when you are specializing in accounting, operations management knowledge, operations management concepts are very much useful. So this subject will be a very practical, useful subject for all of you. So that is to keep you informed that what we are going to discuss here will be useful as business students. We will understand it towards during the discussion today, and then of course towards the end of our discussion today, we will understand why operations management is relevant for management students specializing in accounting. Right. Hope we can start, right? Those who are joining with us through the themes, we are going to start operations management subject. Now, in introductory topic, we will try to cover a content that will help you the overall understanding of this subject. We will begin with definitions of operations management. Definitions of operations management, and thereby identify the scope of this subject, and also to describe the importance of this subject from this subject in business organization. Then also we will identify how this subject has been evolved and why this should be studied. Then we will pay attention to identify the key activities, decisions of operations managers from the course and their responsibility. Towards the end of our discussion today, we will identify what is an operations system and what are the components of an operations system. When we study operations management, why we should study about that of an organization, operations system of the business organization. That is what we try to cover in the introductory topic. Right. I hope you have an idea. Compared to the normal crowd we get, of age, I think you are more mature and you are in a position to understand this side of business more comprehensive than the normal batch. Right? By looking at your faces and this is the age, I think so. How many of you are already working? Almost everyone. Almost everyone. Hello. Have you already started working? Yeah. Hello. Okay. And then in the manufacturing businesses, how many of you are attached to manufacturing business? Let's say producing products. 3, 4, 5. Only 4. So those who are attached to manufacturing organizations, which departments you are attached to? Is that from accounts, finance department, and there was another one, accounts. All 4 are attached to accounting and finance department. How about others? Are they attached to services, in the sense customer service related? Those who involved in services, offering, offering some services, customer services. I mean, not IT or any other, but customer services. Where customers may come to your service branches, you talk to them, you fulfill their requirements, that type of businesses. No? IT related, IT operations, maybe various different information processing kind of. No. So how about others? Where do you attach? Private sector. Again, accounting related and finance related. Is that all of you? Right. I'm trying to identify the audience, right? So how can I explain this subject to a crowd here having only an accounting background, a finance background? That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, let's try to move forward so that we will fit into. As you can understand, as the name implies, operations management. In this subject, we study the operation side of the business. When you hear operations in business context, this can be discussed, this can be used in some other organizations, some other context also, but in business context, business context, what comes to your mind when you hear this term operations? What are operations? What kind of primary activity of the business that involves in what? Great. Right? In simple terms, in business context, operations refers to the main primary or activity of a business that involves in producing products in manufacturing industries, of course. In services, service creation and delivery. Right. So as you can see here, there can be some other business functions also that we consider as primary, but operations is one of the main primary functions of any business that we are going to study here. So sometimes we call it manufacturing, especially in manufacturing context, or production. Nowadays we consider it as operations. So all these 3 subjects like manufacturing management and production management, they are primarily studying manufacturing organizations, how the products are manufactured. What are the responsibilities of managers there in the operations department? Some in 1970s and onwards, as you know, in service sector organizations started expanding their operations. In this subject, we study both manufacturing and service sector value creation activities. We call them operations. So the name of the subject is operations management. That involves both manufacturing as well as service sector value creation activity. So in very simple terms, what operations are doing or what operations are involved in, that is value creation or value adding. in a business. Right? Value creation or value. That operations are involved in. When we say so, there can be some other business processes also involving value creation, value adding, whereas operations would be the main function or main activity involving value creation or value adding. That is why it says this is the central mechanism for value adding. There can be some other activities, some other processes through which businesses can add value and thereby offer something useful to their customers, products and services. Right? But it's through operations we create value. To understand by value creation, value adding, what is that? How does that happen? Value creation. Hello? Hello?
Converting raw materials into finished goods.
Okay. Okay. In an organization, there can be some steps. There can be some processes. Right? That involves in converting some raw materials into finished products. In that process, that value addition can happen, can be managed. So by converting inputs into outputs through various different production steps or service creation steps, value addition can be done. Is that important for a business? Value addition, value creation. In manufacturing business, of course, yes. Without adding value in the sense, without producing something useful, what they can sell to the market. They don't have anything to sell. So that primarily sell something useful in the market, they will have to produce it. So from whatever industry we consider, let's take consumer industry or consumer market. From day-to-day food items that we eat, that we buy and eat, to various other consumer products, we call them FMCG products, fast-moving consumer goods, or any other consumer packaged goods, biscuits to sausages to margarine to yogurt to beer to whatever. All the consumer products that we produce. Then, of course, that is B2C market. Businesses, manufacturers, they produce products and sell them in the consumer market, right? Through wholesalers and retailers, that is one. Then, of course, the other market, B to B, business to business, right? They also, I can say for an example, now, one of the main industries here in Sri Lanka is garment industry, apparel industry. So they heavily depend on some of the main inputs to the manufacturing required. In garments, what is the main item required for producing garment items? That is fabric, right? Fabric, and there can be various other inputs from various different badges to zips to buttons to packaging materials to various other items required. So they purchase such materials, inputs in bulks, large quantities from their supplier. So such firms manufacture the fabric and then sell them to the garment factory in large scale. But in B2B also, right? Successfully manage the business, they need to produce something and sell in large quantities. So in B2B also, questions are there. So that is the business one, and manufacturing one. That we can clearly see value creation activities in manufacturing. So is that important? Is that relevant only for manufacturing? How about services? Service sector organizations, do they have value creation activities? Do they have value creation processes? If so, what they are, how that happens? Is that relevant for services? When we say services, there can be different types of services, right? Wide variety of services. However, whatever the industry we refer, that could be, let's say, restaurants and hotels. Restaurants and hotels, one type of industry. And from that to, let's say, transportation, passenger to cargo or parcel or courier, right? To airlines. Then, of course, banking operations, banking and other various financial service operations. Hospitals to other healthcare services, and then educational institutes like this. There can be different types of services. Then to telecommunications and various other retail services. Are these operations relevant for such services also? Is value creation relevant for service operations? Service businesses should also add value, create value. And for that, they also require a separate department, separate process or separate function of the business before it operations department. So in this subject, we try to understand the activities, processes, decisions involved in that part of the business. Understand it? Whether that is in manufacturing or service, what we try to understand how the value creation, main value creation activities are done. Main value creation activities are managed. Right? And that is the operation side of it. So that involves in production, that is responsible for creating products. And then of course creating and delivering services. That is what we try to study. When you move forward, you will understand why for accounting students that understanding is a must or that's important, right? So since you are familiar with these things, I assume that I don't need to. I am not supposed to explain everything from beginning to end. You can understand. So in operations management, we identify the activities, decisions, and responsibilities of managers attached to this department called operations department. So in simple terms, what we try to study here, the decisions, activities, responsibilities of operations managers. As you understood, operations management refers to the set of activities that creates value. That creates value. So their responsibilities will be studied here. As you can see here in slide number 5, in a formal, well-established organization, there can be different managers involved in operations related activities. Medium scale to large international organizations. In their production, operations related departments, there can be different managers. As I already explained, we are going to study their responsibilities. So we should know who are the managers involved here. So who we call operations managers then? After that, operations manager, who we call operations managers then? The manager or the set of managerial staff responsible for decision making at operations department. Managerial staff responsible for operations management activities. So in this subject, we try to understand who they are, what their responsibilities are, and then how such responsibilities should be performed. Right? You as accountants, finance department executives attached to finance department, they learn something from it. Not necessarily you're going to become operations managers, but you may learn something from it. Right. Well, at operations department, as we have already studied, different levels of managers. That is relevant for operations also. There can be top level positions, middle level managerial positions, and then lower level managerial positions in operations management. So, since you are familiar with this arrangement in organization, what are the common managerial positions at top level in organization? Think of manufacturing firms first, because there you can identify operations management positions clearly. Right. So, what are the top level, corporate level, or the senior level operations, senior level operations management positions they have come across? What are the job titles used? Senior level. TGM operations could be in some organizations. They may use even general manager operations. Right? General manager operations sometimes. Yeah. What are the other common managerial job titles at the top level? COO most of the time, right? In manufacturing context, COO stands for Chief Operating Officer, who is mainly responsible for the performance of operations department, mostly in manufacturing. Because CEO is responsible for the performance of entire business. So operations department, that is COO most of the time. Chief Operating Officer. Have you come across some other job titles? What else? What are the other common managerial? You may write down those two, right? General Manager Operations, who COO, Chief Operating Officer, a common job title. What else? How much people are? Those who are joining with us through Zoom, through Teams. There can be a group direct operations or direct operations kind of position. Direct operations. Who are jointly taking strategic decisions at the business level and then connecting the operation side to the business. Right? They are responsible for the overall performance of the operations department. COO, General Manager Operations or Direct Operations, Group Direct Operations kind of positions. Right? What are the common middle level managerial positions we see at operations departments? Middle level positions. In manufacturing, production manager, or factory manager, plant manager, production manager, factory manager, plant manager, who are particularly responsible for the operations management decisions and successful implementation. Under the guidance of top management, they are the ones who are responsible for making or especially implementing long-term decisions taken by the government. They are answerable for the performance. Whereas top management is supervising, middle level managers are responsible for the performance. We can clearly identify these managerial positions, especially in manufacturing firms. These operations management jobs. We'll come to services a little later. We can see in some industries, even in addition to operations, quality manager, right? Manager quality kind of questions can also coming under the middle level. They are, I mean, they are also working together with operations manager. Quality manager. In that case, there can be a manager or kind of senior managerial person like director quality that comes under the top level, right? And the middle level could be the quality manager. In some other industries, even the assistant production managers, assistant factory manager kind of positions may also come under the middle level, right? So that under the guidance of factory managers, assistant factory managers will also work. What are the common global level managerial positions in manufacturing industry? Supervisors, production supervisors, production executives, team leaders, production supervisors, production executives, team leaders who are particularly responsible for the operations activities and successfully completing the production orders, like orders and then dispatching them, right, with their staff. So under them, there can be operations staff, operating level employees, operating level employees, maybe the machine operators, assistants, helpers, and all the other operating level staff who are actually involved in or physically involved in the production related work. So under the management, there can be operations employees. In services, do we see operations management positions? If so, what are those managerial positions? In service sector, do we have operations managers? Commonly, in some of the industries, yes, we have. But their responsibilities, their contribution to the business, not so clear as in manufacturing. Because in manufacturing industries, operations managers' contribution, their responsibilities are very much clear that we can identify. But in service sector, in a way, the recognition for the operations management was not so significant. Have you noticed that? There can be operations manager or such positions, but their contribution is not so visible or not so recognizable as in manufacturing. So does that mean operations management is not so relevant for the service sector or what? What do you think? What do you think? Operations are relevant. Then why is less recognition for operations managerial positions in service? What do you think? Just share and feel free to share your views.
Because each operational staff are responsible. The person who are delivering the services should be the person who
is responsible. That's a good observation. I really like that answer. How about others? How about others? What do you think? Just think about your own organizations, your own industries, and use your experience in service sector. Why we don't see? I mean, why can't we identify the operations management contribution clearly as in manufacturing? Think of an industry like restaurants or hotels, do they have operations? Of course, yes. Of course, yes. Who performs such operations activities and who manage them? Can you understand the question? That is one. Yeah, that is one. In service sectors, most of the service industries, the entire business is involved in operations. That is the case. Right? The entire business is involved in operations. And to manage their business, usually what they do is divide the main operations into different departments. And then there are different managers managing separate parts of the operation. Say for example, hotels. When it comes to running a hotel business, hotel operations, right? There are various different operational activities involved. Right? Let's say, of course, yes, the various different items, food items, various different beverage to other items should be purchased in order to run the hotel operation smoothly. To manage that part of it, they have a purchasing manager, procurement manager, looking after that. So we call them the procurement manager, the purchasing manager, but he is into operations. Then of course, food processing, and then of course, kitchen operations. Chef, and then a separate manager for managing the related activities there. Food and beverage managers. Under them, the chef and other staff, probably. I don't know much. Clear. Right? There can be separate arrangements there. Then, of course, hotel reservations, room reservations, and undertaking the hall reservations and all. Right? Maybe under the support of sales and marketing. Right? They handle such other operations. Right? Room bookings, hall reservations, right? Custom on board. All those are operations managed through sales and marketing and reservation plan. Can you understand it? So then, of course, cleaning the rooms and then maintaining the standards of the services and all. Maybe what is the managerial question there? Housekeeping manager. Yeah. Manage housekeeping. Responsible for day-to-day cleaning work and arranging the room so that customers can check into the rooms on time, right? Everything, cleaning and everything will be managed by the housekeeping manager. Then, of course, maintenance, cleaning, clearing, and all those are managed by another manager, right? So, likewise, if you think of a hotel operation, various different operations activities are managed by different managers. Not particularly one manager, all operations managers. So the same is applicable to many other industries. Think of a hospital, think of an airline service, think of a bank. Right? Operations are very much freedom, operations are there, but they are managed by different division and functional managers. Different sectional managers. So that is to understand whom we are going to consider here in this subject, operations managers, both manufacturing and service sector organization. And their responsibilities, what we are going to study here. Out of these different levels, in your understanding, what level we particularly focus on? Top level operations managers, middle level or lower level? Okay, that's a good guess. And in this subject, we particularly focus on the middle level operations managers and their duties, their responsibilities, their activities, and then how they should make them. Only in manufacturing? No, not necessarily. Both. That is what we find. However, However, when you look at the course outline, you will understand although operations management is relevant for both manufacturing and service sector equally, the subject content will demand for manufacturing organizations operations. That is where the subject is developed. But now we see a lot of service sector implications. However, as per the course outline, we will pay a little more attention to manufacturing sector organizations and the operations of this time we'll discuss some sector implications also. Any quick questions you want to ask from me before moving further? Yeah. Is it clear what we are going to study? Any quick questions you want to ask from me? At what time we are going to have a break? That's a very good question. Yeah. At what time we are going to have a break? Huh? 2:30 to 45. Anything else you want to ask from me at the beginning? Okay. We'll discuss about it towards end of video. Because assessment activities are very important. Have you studied operations management by any chance on some other programs? Have you? Operations management subject. Have you studied operations management on some other professional courses? Inventory management is one topic on the here. Right? So that is an important. That's an important topic in operations. Yeah, you can study. Right. Is that a separate topic? Yeah, I don't think so. One topic, right? I mean, under which topic? Business verification. Right. Business verification. That. So, in fact, that is what we try to study in the business verification process. Business verification processes. Many the inventory management could be one. Of course, those who have studied that subject may easily understand most of the concepts here. Value chain analysis, yeah. But most of the time, what happens is at managerial level, we try to get an overall idea about operations, especially by looking from the top. We try to understand how the value chain activities are designed and managed, and how that should happen. In this subject, operations management, we go into details and try to understand the operations management activities more detail. Sometimes that you might feel it's a little boring, I must tell you, because as or at the middle level or the top level, with the experience, when you climb up, especially accounting students or finance students might find it a little boring because we are going to discuss operations related activities little more details. More than theoretical, the detailed operational related activities, which may be useful, very much practical, but you might find it a little more detailed. Because at managerial level, since you are not going to manage operations there, what you need is kind of overall understanding. I'll keep that in my mind when I explain things, and I will try to give you only the overall idea. When it comes to the assessment, we'll tell you more details after the break. But for the other, like for the other subjects, there will be these two components: semester end exam and the continuous assessment. I wasn't sure about the audience today, so that I didn't finalize the. I have an idea. I have already done it, but I might modify the continuous assessment activity in a way that is more suitable to the audience here. Right. That I will let you know after the break. What is the continuous assessment we are going to do? And then, of course, final paper may consist of around 6 questions coming from various different topics. As you can understand, this subject, slide number 6, you get an idea. Operations management is a kind of subject that is built based on various other different subjects. Especially, we have drawn a lot of concepts, techniques from industrial engineering subject, which is basically an engineering subject. Industrial engineering related concepts, theories, knowledge, we heavily use in operations management. In addition to that, various other physical sciences, because we are talking about manufacturing technology. So this subject has been built based on such good subjects. And then, of course, the management in general, statistics, economics, and nowadays, information technology and analytics kind of subjects have contributed a lot to this subject. So as you can see here, in this subject, it was earlier mainly a quantitative subject, using numbers, formula, and various different calculations, how to make production related, operations related decisions and interpret the values. And that was a quantitative part, especially production and manufacturing management. With the subject, when the subject was evolved, certain other management concepts have also been added to the subject, so that it has not only the quantitative part, some qualitative, descriptive part as well. So in the final paper also, there will be some questions, at least parts of questions, that you will have to calculate and interpret the values. Quantitative part. At the same time, some questions or parts of questions describing the management concepts and your understanding on those concepts. Understand it? So in the final paper, there will be calculations as well as structured questions. Structured for 3 hours. It will be a closed book examination. We'll explain you the continuous assessment after the break. Any quick questions? No questions. No questions. Then, like I understood the audience, you should also know who I am. I am Chandana. Chandana Jikon, attached to Faculty of Management and Finance, University of Colombo. I graduated from the same university back in 2005. Someone close to my age, there can be at least 1 or 2. No? Then worked for a training company outside the university for 2 years, then joined the faculty in 2005, 2007. There onwards, I am attached to the marketing department there. Almost 15+ years now. So operations management is one main subject that I teach for my undergraduate students there. And then also, of course, for the postgraduate and masters, including SAP. This is seventh batch I think. I'm teaching operations management. I really like SAP because the arrangements are very efficient and organized compared to many other private sector institutions. I like SAP. I don't know about what your experience. I like it. So this is just to tell you that I will be able to share my knowledge, experience in operations management. Because, since I'm studying this, I'm visiting various other places, especially factories, service branches, to see how they have designed their operations activities, how they are managing them, what are the latest operations management practices, concepts they have implemented and all. So I might be able to add little value to you through this subject. If you are ready to get there. You are ready to get there. Especially with a crowd like this, I will be able to easily share this because you can easily understand what I am telling. You have a kind of business experience. Am I correct? They are already working, that we have a kind of business sense. How in business sector, a business organization, this happens, right? That when I explain something, you can easily understand. Just imagine, just after A levels, without any practical experience, right, when they start doing a degree program, how difficult that is for a lecturer to explain, faculty to explain. This is how business organization manage their operation. It's extremely difficult. But for a crowd like you, it is very easy. In addition to this, I'm taking subjects like marketing management and of course supply chain management that I really like. That I will be able to contribute to your knowledge to some extent, try to get maximum from me. With that, shall we move to the subject? Like for any other subject, at the beginning, we need to have definitions for the subject. There are two definitions. Operations management subject, although they are very simple, let me help you understanding what is the scope of this subject and what are the key decisions coming under operations managers. So there are two definitions mentioned here. The first definition, you see, it refers to operation system, design, operation, and improvement of the operation system. The second definition, I have taken this from two authors. It refers to the process, systematic design, direction, and control of processes. So in operations management, we are going to study about the operations system of a business or the processes of the business that are used to create products, create an inner service. So operations management is all about systematic design and direction and control of an operation system or processes that are used to produce products. Service sector, create and deliver service. So you can identify operations management primarily involving designing an operation system, designing processes, designing an efficient operation system is one main part of operations management. So what are the key decisions coming under designing part of it? What are the key activities involved there, as you understand? Designing an operation system. Designing. Designing and yeah. Although there are two different words into definitions here, as you can understand, they are more or less similar. It gives the same idea because see, operation system that involves in creating products and services, and then of course processes again transforming inputs into outputs. So that the idea is more or less same. Operation system, processes, what we mean, both are same. So designing.
The way the operation should be, the flow of the operation. Like what production take place first, second, likewise the process.
Okay. Okay. How the operations related activity should happen, right? Designing that. Of course, that is one main part of it, but it's only one element. There can be many other areas, right? So designing an operation system is one main responsibility of operations management. In it, there can be various different decisions. I appreciate your answer. That's one part of it. So what are the other areas coming under designing? Just practically think of a business when it comes to its operations. How an efficient operation system should be designed? What are the key elements of it? What are the key decisions coming under that? If you think in detail, you will understand. Well, they will have to carefully identify a proper plan for the business, what we call business strategy. So once the business strategy is set, accordingly, long-term plan for the operation should be selected, should be specified. We call it operational strategy. That should be the starting point. Aligning with the business strategy for the operations, there should be a long-term plan. We call it operations plan strategy. So that has to be designed. That has to be specified. Aligning with the operations strategy, there can be various other operations design decisions. Like they have to select products. They have to identify what type of products we are going to produce. One product or a product portfolio. So that we call product designing. We have to first design products. In case of service industries, services should be designed. You know, now Damro, they are producing furniture items. So they will have to design the products. CBL biscuits manufacturing. So they will have to design biscuit types in order to produce them. So designing products. Right? Likewise, restaurants, let's say Pizza Hut. What they offer, and that is different from KFC or let's say any other restaurant. Food items. But they're different. They will have to design their products. One main decision coming under designing an operation. Then, of course, aligning with the product, how the products can be manufactured, as you say. That's what we call processes. Processes should be designed in a way that product can be manufactured. At the same time, there can be other design decisions, like there can be quality management activities to ensure the quality of the products and all. That has to be designed, isn't so? Otherwise, they won't be able to produce the product in a quality manner, aligning with the standards and all, specifications and all. So, designing the quality management procedures. Is that enough? No, they'll have to design a supply network. In order to produce products, they'll have to identify what materials are required, what parts are required, and from where we can buy them. The supply side of it, supply network should be designed. Designing. Not only producing and delivering them to the market, they are also operations. So the distribution network, supply as well as distribution network. So designing such and aligning with them, they will have to design, they will have to specify where they should locate their factories. We call it location strategy. Factory location. Designing. So once the location is selected, according to the manufacturing technologies, production activities, they will have to design the physical arrangement there. We call it layout. Physical layout within the factories, how the machines departments are arranged. So that is the layout arrangement. And main time they will, I mean, most of the time these operations are performed by workers also. There can be manpower and machine power. Manpower, they will have to identify what type of workers we need to use there, utilize there, how we are going to utilize it. So designing the work system, designing the machine system. So all these decisions are coming under designing. Designing. Those are key topics they are going to cover. If you look at the course outline, you will come to know such topics. At least few of them you will be discussing in detail. If you understand it, you can understand. And keep that in your mind, that comes under the designing part. Designing an operation system or designing operations process. That is one main part of the subject. Some main parts of the subject. You will understand things in detail as we move forward. Just have an idea, that's enough. What is the second main part of the subject or the scope of the subject? It says direction and control part of it. Here it says operations. Operating the operation system. Directing and controlling the operations process. That is another main responsibility of operation. When you visit factories, when you go and see what operations managers are doing on day-to-day basis, you will see they are managing the operation. They are planning the operations work, right? They are, in a way, planning to utilize the operations facilities, maybe the machines available, maybe the workforce, factory capacity. They plan to utilize them, and then of course, they on day-to-day basis they utilize them and produce products as per the orders. So that part of it we call operating and, or in other words, directing and controlling the processes. That is to ensure the operations facility is designed, utilized efficiently, utilized effective, productive. Right? So that part of it. So most of the time, as you can understand, design decisions are infrequent. What operations managers are involved in on day-to-day basis, directing and control. When you go to a factory, you may observe factory managers are involved in directing and controlling. There can be few topics in our subject that you can identify from the course outline. Say production planning. Right? Production planning part of it. Then operations scheduling, materials requirements planning, MRP, inventory management. Although we are not going to discuss in detail, supply management, procurement management kind of subjects, kind of topics coming under direction and control part. Production planning, and then of course production scheduling, materials requirements planning, and then inventory management, purchasing management. So those are certain decisions made by operations managers on day-to-day basis. That is another part of operations. There will be 2-3 topics. Is that all? As you can see here, it further says operations management involves in improvements of operations system. What comes to your mind? Improvements? What are the improvements? Operational improvements, operations improvement. What type of? What could be the main objectives? Aiming at what operations improvements are introduced? Okay, to maximum utilize resources. Like what? Workforce, and then machines and all, right? Utilize more improvements. What are the other improvements? Operational improvements that are commonly, we can commonly see.
Quality.
Of course, the quality side of it, products quality, process quality, right? To improve it, that has become a must, right? Almost all the industries. Quality improvements, process improvements, right? Product quality and process quality. Should they be introduced? That is another main responsibility of operations management. Can you identify a few more improvements in operations? Digitalization kind of, automation kind of. What is the main objective when we do so? To enhance the efficiency, to improve the efficiency, and thereby minimize the time required for operations, minimize the resource requirements for operations, and thereby minimize the operating cost. That could be one main thing. So for that, could be automation, could be digitalization, and many other improvements that are timely required. Whose responsibility is that? Operations management should initiate them with the support of other senior managers. You as accountants, as finance managers, get a lot of requests from operations department, don't you? To introduce technologies, upgrade technologies, change their layouts, change their quality management practices, isn't so? Maybe newer technologies, new machines. That is to improve the operations. Maybe the manual systems into automated, digitalized, system-based, implementing ERP and various other IS information systems as a part of improvement. So you as accountants and finance managers should know the operations management language in order to study their projects and then give them the approval. Although you are not going to become operations managers, you should know about that. So that is another part of operations management. Is that clear? Mainly there are 3 sets of responsibilities coming under operations management. It's all about operations system, operations process. And there are 3 sets of responsibilities. One is designing an operation system or efficient system, up to date. And then make sure they are operated and utilized to its fullest potential. Is that only? No. As as required, operation system should be upgraded, should be improved. Because customer requirements are getting changed. Their preferences are getting changed. Technologies are updated. And competitors, they may introduce latest improvements, right? So that if your operation systems are outdated, your business will be lagging behind. You can't compete. You can't compete with the other competitors. So that the such operation system needs to do. This model by one of the well-known author in operations management with his support team, Nigel Slack. And accordingly, he defines operations management uh, and helps us understanding the nature of this subject. Now, according to him, this framework would help us understanding how operations should be managed. Now, here you may see operations department, and then the business is operating in the business environment. The business environment, not in a vacuum. That is true for all the businesses. Right? Operation system processes are not operating in vacuum. It's in the operations environment or business environment. So, what is the business environment? What business environment we require here? Micro environment, task environment, and then the macro environment. So, customers have the option of selecting from our company or other companies out there in the market. They have the option. In order to attract customers towards our product, what we will have to do? What we will have to do? We will have to offer them the most suitable product, highly useful, valuable product. In other words, our outputs, whether that is product or services, that has to be up to their expectation. Isn't so? They should be of high quality. Whatever it is, consumer product or any other. Right? So then only customers should be attracted towards our product. In order to do so, we have in order to do so, we will have to identify what we need to do compared to other competitors in the market and have a long-term plan for that. That is called operation strategy. Aligning with that, designing the operations. And then planning and controlling it so that we can efficiently convert these operations inputs, operations resources into output. Not only that, introduces some improvements, changes to the operation system so that we can produce highly demanded items in the market and thereby offer the best product to the customer. That is how it is explained. Who introduced this model? Slack or Nigel Slack. Slack, right? And that is aligned with the definition we discussed. Now, will you be able to answer a question like this? Based on our discussion so far, operations management is only relevant for manufacturing industries. Do you agree? Justify your answer. Operations management is only relevant for manufacturing industry. Do you agree? Justify your answer. Or for a question like operations management is applicable for both manufacturing and service sector organizations. Do you agree? Justify your answer. for a question like this. Using an appropriate definition. Use an appropriate definition. Define the scope of operations management subject. So I just gave you a few examples. So if you can answer to such questions, that's good. Right. Answers will be different depending on your understanding. If you understand very little as of now, don't worry, because when you complete this topic, you will be able to come up with detail, lengthy, descriptive answers. Using an appropriate definition of operations management, explain the scope of operations management. So if you have to have a break around 2:45, that would be convenient, right? Any quick questions you want to ask from me before moving to the operations management topics?
To answer this question, is there any specific format?
To answer these type of questions, this question is there any specific format? I actually don't have a format for the kind of tentative answer in my mind, right?
The structure.
So for that, that's why I told you different people, different participants here, depending on their understanding, they can come up with their own answers. And especially when you complete the rest of the topic, you can understand how you can come up with a more suitable, comprehensive answer, and accordingly design the structure of the answer. Since we are still at the beginning, I'm not going to explain you the kind of expected answer, the structure now. I'm just showing you this is what you should know, right? As we move forward, we will also discuss type of answers and the structure that you need to follow. Good. In your understanding, to become operations management, what kind of background is required? What kind of physical, what kind of subject background or education qualifications are required in your understanding? Hello? To become an operations manager in a business, what kind of educational background, qualification background is required in your understanding? What do you think? You think rather than education, experience is more important in that particular industry, in that particular sector, right? In that particular technology related activities, right? That experience is more important in your understanding. Okay. Any other views? Any other opinions? A person having a kind of expertise, kind of experience in supply chain would be able to perform these supply operations management activities better in your understanding. Okay, that is true to a certain extent. Yeah. A person having expertise in the supply chain operations. What do you think? What kind of background qualifications would be of useful? Let me put the same question in a different way. Can a business management degree holder become an operations manager? Can a business management degree holder become an operations manager in an industry? You think yes, okay, operations manager. In what type of industry? Very limited. Having a business degree may not be adequate to become an operations manager in most of the industries because they have to make decisions related to the technologies and then the industrial engineering side of that particular industry. Right? And for that technical background, scientific background, engineering background, technological background matters a lot. So that is why most of the business students, like many of you, not interested in becoming operations managers because for that you need expertise in that particular subject area. Technical knowledge, industrial knowledge, engineering knowledge, scientific knowledge. And having said that, I agree with your understanding. In some of the industries, maybe those who have the experience in the operations over a longer time period when they have accumulated experiences, they can climb up to the managerial position, maybe initially at the lower level managerial position, then to the middle level. So, talk to some factory managers and all, they have come from the top, they have come from the bottom. From the experience and then the technical knowledge, and then through some other educational programs, they have acquired the required qualification. So that is the nature of it. So most of the time, particular technology, let's say in apparel sector, the relevant technology background is required, and that is different from tire manufacturing. In tire manufacturing, the industrial engineering related technology is different, and that is different from motor engineering and automotive engineering. Like that. In your opinion, right? What is the level of recognition for the operations department in or at top management? What have you seen? Even in your case, many of you are from accounting and finance background. What do you think of the production team, production department, operations department of your organization? Do you get my question? What do you think about the operations department of your own organization? What kind of opinion you have? Do you agree, right? I mean, just asking a question, right? Yeah. What do you think?
They won't consider the return on investment.
Okay, you think operations team, they don't worry much about return on investment, huh? And they, in your understanding, they are just making
Focusing on the
expenditure, expenses.
in return,
They won't consider the return. Okay, that is what he had observed. Maybe true. I mean, that is what you are telling me, right? That is what. Okay. How about others? What do you think? Yeah. Hello. I'm asking from accounting professionals, finance managers, or kind of junior to middle level. What do you think of the operations departments of your organization? Yeah. Pardon me?
Critical for revenue generation because if it is a manufacturing company,
Okay.
they should produce the things to sell.
Okay. Okay. In your opinion, operations department is a very important department and their performance is critical. Okay. In other words, if their contribution is not there, earning profits, generating revenue would be extremely difficult for any business. That is what he thinks about it. How about others? What do you think?
Yeah. Their production budget sometimes right to met
Okay.
not reasonable.
Uh-huh.
Come to production and all. They won't consider the other factors.
Okay.
They consider how the amount of goods they can manufacture.
Okay.
But there are other factors to consider. Festival season, the pandemic situation.
Okay. Your understanding is that they are less sensitive to other business factors, conditions and all. They are mainly focusing on the production and production targets and all. That's only they are considering. That is his observation, his experience with this business. Right? Which may be true in his context. How about others? We believe.
The main reason why the business is surviving is because of the operations.
Do you think you have, just to please me, you are telling that, or you have that understanding, okay?
We have the.
Okay. Okay. In order to survive in the business, right? He thinks operations should contribute a lot because that is the main reason why we are doing this business. If you're good at it, if you can produce something that is highly demanded in the market, only we can compete in the market. So it gives us the reason for the existence in his understanding. So operations is the reason why we are doing the business. Someone outside, right? How about others? Operations people or operations department, they don't much consider about the profits. Instead, they are considering only the operations process. They are mainly focusing on operations process only, and they are not so. Right. They just ignore the other related costs even. They're just focusing on the production and the operating related activities and the cost and the budget. Markets. Less sensitive to market, is that? They consider the market, but not the other expenses and all. As an financial professional, you have observed it, so that's more challenging for you to cooperate with them, is that? This is what we need to understand. What else? Hello? What do you think of the contribution of operations department in your organization? What is your belief? What do you think about it? They or other department? Production department, in her observation, less collaborating, less supportive with other departments. Instead, they are operating alone in isolation or in. Okay. Okay. That's it. Okay. And you will have to, I mean, they ignore your constraints and all, right? They demand and they want it. Is that?
They are the most influencing division.
Is that so? They say something else, right?
Corporation, we don't have nothing to say.
For what?
From a manufacturing company.
Yeah.
They operate only, we can sell something.
Yeah.
Sell the goods and services.
Yeah.
They stop.
I get your point, but they say something different. They say finance and account, especially finance department is more powerful and their activities are controlled by finance professionals. That is what operations managers are complaining about.
So
That I give you.
now they have the influencing power.
Okay, they have the influencing power as well as
They stop working.
Stop
There are so many unions and all.
uh-huh.
They stop working. We have to use it. So we have to manage the operational team as well as our top team.
Okay, okay. That is challenging, right? That is critical and that is challenging.
So the financial department.
In finance department, because you have your financial targets and all, profit taking, profit margins and all, and managing overhead expenses and all, and making the investments more profitable to the business.
Sometimes they request salary hikes like even we are affordable. There are some because we have to satisfy both of them as the shareholders as well as our operational well-being department.
In between shareholders and you have the top management also, so that you have to satisfy all the things, right? That is challenging from a professional point of view, financial professional point of view. Do you think you pay adequate attention to the operations activities of your business? Do you give them the recognition they deserve?
In Lankan context, the cities will compromise, but the cost of the production is not only relevant to that department, it's highly relevant to the procurement department. They should procure the most economical things, which is meet the quality requirement of the production. But their output, the targets and everything from the marketing team, if they requested 1,000 pieces per month, so production department is responsible to issue that 1,000 pieces. So they can't give the excuses. That's why they are more demanding and they are duty.
Yeah, to fulfill that, do you think, yeah, I understand your point very clearly. That's a very good point. That is how it is. And in your opinion, do you think businesses are giving them the recognition they deserve?
In Sri Lankan context is no, because the labor market is very cheap and we have enough labor. The labor turnover is anyhow high.
Yeah, that is only about the workforce. I mean, the workforce, right? But as a department, internal department, do you think, like the other department, like finance department, accounting department, as an accounting, let's say together, and then marketing, HR, and other departments, do you think the operations department, the manufacturing operations department, getting the recognition they deserve?
Because they are not decision makers in the board.
Right.
So what the marketing side and CEO decide. So let's say they decide this much profit we should earn. So for that they are getting a backward
Targets. Yeah. Can you understand that? Do you agree with that?
Yes.
That is how it is in most of the industries. Not only in manufacturing, that is true for services also. Most of the time, they are given targets from the top management, from the other functional areas, and they are just delivering it under certain practical constraints in terms of capacity, factory sizes, factory capacities, and workforce, and then tight work schedules and all, under tight working conditions, they are to deliver. And they have a less bargaining power, less recognition in the management board most of the time. And most of all, it says, not only here, it says in the textbooks also, in most of the industries, most of the countries, other senior managers, especially finance managers, and then the sales and marketing, they consider operations department taken for granted. Anyway, they are to perform, right? So that operations requirements, operations concerns are not considered seriously at management boards and there are internal politics also, managerial politics also, and in it, operations people, let's say factory managers, production managers kind of people, they have kind of less recognition in the management boards also. That is the reality. That's the reality. However, in management education, what we try to promote is kind of collaboration between these functional departments, functional area, that is essential. It is a good, it's a old belief that finance is most important department or the marketing is most important department. When we think of most successful businesses in the world, from Apple Corporation to Toyota to IKEA or Walmart, manufacturing and service, right? How they have become successful, it is through the collaboration between the internal department. In it, the contribution of operations department have been recognized mostly. Because without them, it's very difficult for us to create value, unique value, and stay ahead compared to the competitors. And for that, as the main value creation mechanism, operations should be given more recognition, more attention. And finance, accounting, and marketing and other departments should collaborate with work together to achieve the business strategies and then of course business objectives. That is what they say, right? Then practically whether that is happening, that is a question. That's a question. We'll discuss more about it as we move forward. Let's have a small break. Can we meet around 3:20? 3:20? What has happened was this. Still having tea. So I think those who are joining with us through page, they are waiting, and you all are waiting. How about others? Will they come? We shouldn't waste our time because we have very limited time. Okay, till they come, I feel like starting so that the next time they will come on time. I gave you more than 25 minutes. That's right. See, this there's a waiting out right there. Right. Before the break, we were talking about the scope of operations management subject. Right. We were into definitions. We identified the scope of the subject. Now we will further discuss after some time more about operations system and operations processes. Right. For the time being, we understood operations management involves in designing, operating and controlling, and improving the operations system or the operations processes. Is a very important part of this. Is everything clear here? Any doubts? Any points? It says that not only for external customers, even for internal customers, which means internal customers. You know, no, not necessarily. In a business, there can be, now even in HR, the term internal customers are used, right? That term is used there in HR also. But here the meaning is that within a business, there can be their sister companies sometimes, in which the output of one company is forwarded to the next company as an input. So in that case, right? Or in other words, or in some other situations, one department is completing one product and internally transferred to another division of it, right? As the input of that department. So that is what we mean by internal customers within an organization. So there can be processes that involves in transforming inputs into outputs.
Can't we take when it comes to this scenario?
Yeah,
If I am a junior executive,
yeah,
I have to work under my manager or something. Then I have to satisfy him or by providing my services to the satisfactory level. Then can't be
in this context, actually, what's your name? Ilham. Ilham. In this context, we are focusing on the operations. So, how products are manufactured, how services are created and delivered. In that context, internal customers means it could be another department within the organization that they use your output as their input, right? So, your service as their input. Okay? So that is what. Every time, keep that focus. We are studying only about the operation side of the business. It is only one side of it. I hope that is clear. Then we understood. We understood about this model. Model, and after that, let's quickly try to identify what are the key responsibilities, key decisions made by middle-level operations managers in organizations. Right. What we are trying to understand here, the responsibilities of operations managers. Here it says taking key strategic decisions of operations management. That includes the main operations management, I would say. In addition to that, there are a few others, but even this list will give you a sufficient understanding what operations management decisions are. From design of products, design of services to other decisions. Right. You may take 2-3 minutes to go through this slide, and then of course slide number 10, 11, 12, right, in which these decisions are described a little bit, and try to understand. These are the common decisions, common responsibilities of operations management in organizations. Design of goods, managing quality, making decisions about processes and in operations capacities, location strategy, layout strategy, human resources and job designing, and partly supply chain related decisions also, inventory management, scheduling, and maintenance kind of. These are the hardcore operations management decisions, about which you get a little more details from slide number 10 onwards. Spend little time, talk to your friends, and try to get a simple understanding about what are the core operations management decisions. Sometimes these descriptions may not be enough, so that you can talk to your friends. You can talk to me. I'm not going to explain them unless otherwise you ask some questions, right? Spend a little time. Certain terms, certain concepts are not clear. Feel free to ask some questions. And those who are connected to Teams can also raise some questions. I'm sorry, I might forget sometime. And especially I can't see the messages, unfortunately. From the same screen, I will have to go and check, so that if you have a message, please give us a signal so that I will be able to read it. Yeah, please. Yeah. Yes, okay, I will explain that, right? Under location strategy. Okay, I will explain that. What else? Go through those key decisions. They are the key strategic operations management decisions. However, it depends on the industry. There can be some other strategic decisions also. You are also free to talk to your friends. Please feel free.
Scheduling, location strategy.
Scheduling and location strategy. You need to know a little more details about it.
Okay, is it internal?
No, not this. No. Location is some kind of different decision. Everything is kind of routine day-to-day decision, whereas location is a infrequent.
So not location.
Supply chain and location somewhat related. Somewhat related. Although they are operations management decisions mainly, do you think these decisions are made by operations managers alone? No. An organization, especially at the middle level and the senior level, managers should together make such operations decisions because such decisions may impact on the business performance. So you as finance professionals will have to involve there sometimes. So key strategic operations management. What are not clear? There are some questions about the location strategy and then of course scheduling. What is not clear? Yeah. Clear? This must give you a simple idea what operations managers are supposed to do. Right? Basically. Now they are supposed to involve in getting new product developments done on timely basis and then introduce new products and then specifying the quality requirements with the support of quality management, quality professionals, and then implement the quality management procedures so that they can make sure the products they produce are up to the expected specifications or standards. That is applicable for both products and service industries. Then, of course, making decisions about processes. There are different types of process-related decisions. We will discuss some of them in the class. Right? Processing steps, processing technologies are different depending on the industries. They will have to make various different process-related decisions. And capacity refers to the output levels of the processors, factories, operations facilities that they will have to carefully decide because within an overnight or within shorter time period, they cannot adjust the capacity. So depending on the market requirements, projected market demand, they'll have to arrange the operations facilities. Maybe the factories, machines, workforce, right? And accordingly set the required capacities so that they can easily and effectively meet the market demand on time. And then location strategy. That's all about placing your operations facilities like your factories, distribution centers, showrooms, outlets, at the appropriate places in order to maintain day-to-day operations more effective manner, more efficient manner. So mostly considering the resources like raw materials and other supplies, how conveniently you can purchase them and transport them, right? And considering them locating the factories, and then considering the market, how conveniently you can quickly you can send the products to the market. Hello, Ram. Hello, Ram. Right. That's about location strategy. Deciding the place for your factory. Deciding the place for your outlet center. And in it, your question, locating nearby the talent, which means talent in that case, the operations staff. Because for various different industries, they require different work, different types of skills, competencies, and different workforces. So that locating your factories where the required workforce is available. Right? So located nearby the talent, located nearby the suppliers is one concern, located nearby the market is another concern, located nearby the talent, another concern. Likewise, there are different factors to consider depending on the industries. We'll have to identify, we have to locate, because that decision will impact on the day-to-day operations management activities and operating costs. Human resources and job design. One might say that is a responsibility of HR manager. But most of the operations management jobs, and they are, the job designing and all, what to do, how to do, and things. So such decisions cannot be made by HR department because they are technology-related jobs. What to do, how to do, how the job arrangement should be done and all cannot be decided by the HR. That has to be decided by a team that may have a operations management sense. We call them method analysts, or industrial engineers. Kind of people should involve there to specify how the jobs should be created, job designing and all should be done. Then only we can have an efficient job system or work system. Which is the main part of operations. And then of course supply chain. Another part of it, because within a business, can you see the difference between supply chain and operations? What is bigger in terms of scope? Of course, supply chain is bigger than the operations, right? Because in the supply chain, operations is one tiny part of it. Right? So whatever the product we consider, and let's say garment items, in Sri Lanka, what we do, most of the garment factories, we do the production part of, manufacturing part of it, so completing the garment item, which is the operations of garment factories. But along the supply chain, what happens? So there are various different suppliers producing different garment related inputs, fabric to buttons to packaging materials to various other things. And there are clients in the global market who are placing their orders according to their market requirements. Right, from the Western Europe or the US, under their brand names, they need different designs, different garment items for different seasons. So that they consider the market demand and then they come up with the designs. They place orders to the garment factories operating from this part of the world. Right. So according to their orders, garment factories, they will have to negotiate with the suppliers with the support of their clients, of course, right? And then arrange these raw materials and all, and then produce them and dispatch them. So that is the supply chain operates, in which operations is one time part of it. So individual businesses, from small level to medium level to large scale businesses, when they arrange their operations, they will have to understand how this is connected to a large supply chain, a big supply chain, and then only they can operate their internal operations more efficiently. Can you understand that? So connecting to the large supply network. It's a part of operations management. Inventory management, of course, because maintaining a certain amount of stocks at different places, from raw materials to work in progress to finished products at different places. It's important to smoothly supply the products. Is that relevant for services? Inventory management? We'll discuss in detail under that topic, but you can understand, well, in manufacturing industry, that is a must. Right? So one of you mentioned that when it comes to operations and operations cost and all, more than the value addition done through the operations, the cost, the value, the final cost of the product as a percentage from where we get, that is from the procurement, the purchasing part of it. Right? You mentioned about it. So they will have to adequately maintain inventories to make sure that they can produce at low cost and they get the advantages of inventory management and all. Because the internal value addition would be little and very little compared to the items you purchase from your suppliers. So to get the maximum advantage, how to manage inventories and all, that is relevant for manufacturing. In the same manner, for services also, especially for some services, inventory management is important because with the service, they have to use some inventory items. Let's say, for an example, retail business, retail services like supermarkets. What is their business? In their operations, what they do? In a way, buying and selling, in between storing them for customers to come and compare and select and make the purchase and get the ownership. Selling, right? So in it, is inventory management important? Of course, yes. That plays a crucial role in the operations. Whenever customers come to their showrooms, their retail outlets, that should be available. The right quantities, right products. So inventory management is relevant for most of the services also. When you go to a place like Pizza Hut, if they are unable to deliver some food items, menu items, because of lack of inventory items available, right? You might not go there next time as a customer. So inventory management is relevant for services also. Hospitals, when you go there, if the medications, vaccines are not available, you don't go there. Right? So that for services also, inventory management is relevant in order to smoothly supply the operations. To smoothly manage the operation. Understand it? So likewise, inventory management. Scheduling, that is a little different. Scheduling is important. Right? Market demand would be there for your products. Can you produce your product within few hours or few days and supply to the market? Difficult. You have to plan it. It might take few weeks sometimes. So you predict the market demand, you plan it, and then you arrange the supplies and all, then do the production and then deliver. And it takes a few weeks time, sometimes few months time, depending on the complexity of the product. Capacity of the factories and size of the market demand. And there are many other factors. Accordingly, you'll have to plan it and schedule it so that you can maximally utilize the available capacities in one side, on the other side, meet the market demand on time. So that scheduling is important. And at the same time, maintenance refers to keep your resources, especially machines and other processes available when they are required. Otherwise, what will happen? They're broken down. You are not maintaining your resources. Machines, production lines, right? Factories should be well maintained. That is one main responsibility of operations. Likewise, depending on the industries, decisions may vary, but those are the core decisions, key decisions of operations management. I hope I answered your question and your one also. Right. So you get more details from slide number 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So these are the common decisions. I hope you have a more specific understanding now. Now coming to slide number 15, it gives you a list of other jobs, including the previous ones. So these are common operations management responsibilities or jobs. Introducing new technologies and methods, improving facility location, and then of course space utilization. Underline them if you cannot get the meaning. Otherwise, if you understand it, that's all right. Defining the operation strategy and implementing them efficiently. Improving response time. Developing operations staff, people, and then the teams. Improving customer time, improving customer service, managing quality, managing and controlling inventory, and enhancing productivity. Likewise, those are the key decisions, key jobs, key responsibilities of operations managers across industries. If certain terms are unclear, they're free to ask questions. Feel free, right? Anyone from the teams, if certain terms are not clear, certain decisions are not clear, feel free. I'm repeating, although we can consider them as the key decisions of operations management, should they only contribute to those decisions? All the other managers, all the other functional areas can contribute there, should contribute there. When an organization is performing together. Okay? So that is why we study this subject, not only to become, you won't become an operations manager, but you will have to know about it. Right. Having said that, slide number 16 will help you getting a practical understanding. Now we talked about this operations department and managing the core activities of operations department. Well, in today's context, operations managers are not responsible only to manage this department, but managing the relationships between other departments also, especially with the core departments like marketing and product development, and working together with them. Right? I should marketing team, I should operations team work with the marketing team collaboratively. What do you understand from me? Yeah. In a competitive industry, why the production team or the operations team, operations management work collaboratively with marketing and vice versa? Of course, yes, in competitive industries, what matters most is how promptly you can understand the customer requirements, especially change requirements, and adapt your products, your solutions aligning with them. Customer preferences, their requirements are getting changed. I'm just explaining things, thinking you understand it. Say for an example, I don't give you more examples, thinking that you have examples in your mind. Say for an example, in garments industry, especially in a firm like in firms like MAS, Brandix, so Hydra Money, do they have their marketing team here? They're basically managing the internal operations only. We consider that type of manufacturing firms as contract manufacturers. Hope you are familiar with that term. Right. Manufacturing or production houses. Hello, Iram? Right. Production houses or manufacturing firms like MAS, Hydra Money and all, we call them contract manufacturers. They're just doing the manufacturing part only, right? So they have their factories, their workforce, and their capacities that they utilize to cater their clients. And the global brand owners are the customers. They have their market access. They have their market requirements. Aligning with them, production houses just do the production part of it. So in factories like MAS, we don't see marketing team. Instead, we have merchandising team or supply chain team, merchandising team basically, right? So they negotiate with the clients and then their suppliers and then arrange the operations here. But when it comes to other factors, other businesses like let's say a business not only handling their production but also handling the distribution and marketing part of it. Say for an example, CBL, Manchi, they have their local operations and then the export market operations also. Just consider the local market, how it happens. So there are competitors offering the products in Sri Lankan market, and there are imported products also. So, and on the other side, the Sri Lankan context, socio-cultural, economic, political factors are being changed. Aligning with them, the market requirements are getting changed. Customer preferences are getting changed. purchasing power getting changed. So that aligning with the change in market requirements, operations will have to respond by adjusting their products, packaging, and various other things. So for that, production team should collaboratively work with marketing. They can't just manage their internal function and say, we say, no, they can't. I remember you said they are less cooperative, right? But that shouldn't be the case. They should collaboratively work with marketing team to understand the market requirements and respond quickly. With the support of product development and so on. Because they are the ones who convert the new product ideas into new products. Then collaboratively work together. Meantime, supportively work with the other line management functions like finance and accounting. Should they work with you? You are handling the financial resources. So that they have their different projects, new investments and all, they'll have to collaboratively work with finance and accounting. They should work with HR because in an organization that is common for both manufacturing and services, highest percentage of workforce attached to which department? Highest percentage of workforce. So for various different HR related requirements, from recruitment to selections to training and developments to performance, everything. Right? So more requests are coming from the HR. So they have to work collaboratively with HR. And of course, IT, information technology and information systems. We have a subject also here, right? ERP, and before ERP, there can be other IS solutions also. So how to customize them to improve the performance of operations and collaborative work and other technical parts. So is the point clear? Operations managers are not only supposed to perform internally, but we have to manage the interrelationships between other departments. That is a challenging job. It's a challenging job. That is the situation now. Any questions, any doubts about it? Not only that, right? Not only that, well, this will help you getting an understanding how they are contributing, right? In slide number 18, I took this from a textbook. I took this from a textbook. As you can see here, production methods, operations technologies, concepts and practices. Right? What are they? Production methods, operations technologies, concepts, practices have been changed. It has a long history. It has a long history. So that operations management subject also has a long history. How long that is? What do you think? 5 decades? 5 decades? Well, it has a long history. So, as you can see here, right? They have divided the operations management practices into 4 teams, 4 categories, depending on the focus they say, right? Depending on the focus of operations management concepts, they have divided the history of operations management into 4 periods, 4 eras. Here you can identify it as a long history, more than sometimes 2 centuries, 3 centuries also. In the world history, business history, operations management history, or production management history, we can identify the concerns, practices have been changed. Initially from cost focus, hello. Initially from a cost focus to quality focus, and then customization focus, and now we call it globalization focus. Although these demarcations between these eras are not so clear, we can clearly see this development. Quality focus somewhere here, and prior to that, only mainly the cost focus. Especially soon after the Industrial Revolution, then the scientific management era, that is known for cost focus. There are various different operations management concepts, practices being introduced, mainly aiming at how to produce efficiently at low cost. That is why the cost focus. Gradually, they learn, especially after Second World War, right? Japanese concepts and all, quality focus. While maintaining cost, how to incorporate quality. That is called quality focus. Somewhere here, 1970s to 90s, and then customization focus with more IT development, information technology, internet, various other IT developments. They have been able to customize their solutions, products, and especially services, and digitalization part of it. And the most recent practices they call globalization focus, in which you might identify some of these concepts and practices. Go through that list and just try to identify what are the different concepts. How things have been changed in the history. I'll give you 2-3 minutes. If you need some more details about any of this, just tell me. I will just give you some information. These are about how production approaches, production concepts have been changed. You don't have to know everything, but you should have an idea. Any questions? Any doubts? Right. We will explain it with some other concept. Various different concepts. Any questions? No questions. Okay, seems no question. So let me give you one small group activity. Now, maybe 5 to 10 minutes you can take. I don't need more details, but just do a Google search, right? And identify what are the main concepts, main practices that are popular in 21st century. What are the operations management concepts, latest operations management concepts in 21st century? Uh, just the names. Don't worry about the description, what they are, don't worry. Just get the names of latest concepts being used in 21st century. What we call the globalization era. What are the latest concepts? Operations management. Talking to your friends, you can identify at least 5 to 7 or 5 to 8 new concepts. What are the latest operations management concepts? 21st century especially. Write down the names, at least 5 to 10 names of new concepts that have become popular during the 21st century. Operations management concepts, 21st century. What are the latest concepts used by world leading companies? Latest operations management concepts used by world leading companies. Don't worry about the description, what they are, more details, not needed. Just identify the name, that's enough. Later you can find details if necessary. 5 minutes over. We have 5 more minutes. There are a list of functions. What are the latest conception of business process training? 6 Sigma. Okay, wait a minute. So, when you consider some of those latest compared to good old days, can you see a clear direction? Yeah. How about you? What are the latest concepts you identify? Right, the name that business process reengineering kind of practice as BPR. The course that has become popular not only in Japan now, in the Europe, US as well. Communication. Employee engagement, employee commitments, and all that has been a lot of commitment of applications. Apps for the devices and sales force automation kind of. This is a lot of reconfigurable manufacturing systems. Yeah. How about you?
Will allow us to incorporate the quick rapid changes.
Yeah.
Rather than changing all the components, we can change the part of it.
Customized products also. There are many advantages with the that comes under customization focus. So that comes under yeah. So good observation. What else? Just keep identifying more. This will help you getting an understanding how we should improve our operation systems also. Right? Because aligning is the global trends. If we can adjust our operation systems, that is how we should do it. ERP systems more and more information system based like ERP, so that system based operations, right, they are more efficient processes, then information based decision making. digital twin systems. Okay. In fact, digitalization is a main trend that we identify here, right? And then digital. Okay, let's put. Visual representation of physical products. Visualization of displays and displays. Virtual representation, like we 3D models and all, 3D models and then virtual models, so that customers can get the not the touch and feel, but the look and feel kind of benefits by getting into the by getting the access to those apps and webs, or maybe websites, and they can get VR technology using the virtual reality technologies and all. So those are the new developments. But it's supply chain management, and more than just the management, now supply chain collaboration, supply chain integration, synchronous supply chains kind of concepts have become more popular. Synchronous. So together, supply chain partners they contribute together. Data-driven decision making for that ERP and various other information systems are very much useful. Right? You can also add those points, right? 1 or 2 points from here. Blockchain models. Yeah, blockchain has become prominent technology that has contributed to enhance the efficiencies of distribution channels and then decision making, supply chain integration. What else? So we have one more point. Remote work management. What is the particular technique that you have identified here? Remote work management. You mean to say about the workforce, or that means flexible working arrangements, or automation? Both. Right. Okay, we'll come there. Right, we'll come there. That has gained a lot of popularity. Sustainability and green production. Right. Green production, but e-world. But
green.
Green, yeah. Green, sustainability, and then of cleaner production. Clean production. Where the focus is to minimize the environmental damages. That has been a lot of popularity. Almost all industries, not only in manufacturing, but services, now they concern how to minimize the environmental impacts. Right? You know, this sustainable development goals and all, and then SDGs. Right? Out of them, I think 5 or 7, they are focusing on how to minimize the environmental impacts. Clean production, green production, alternative energy, and more. Renewable energy kind of concerns have gained a lot of popularity. You have one more point. Six Sigma, yeah. Good old, somewhere 1990s, concepts like TQM and all became popular, especially in Japanese among Japanese manufacturers. And then such concepts were introduced in Europe and US also. Based on the TQM principles, now they are working towards more data-based decision-making process, data-based decision-making approach. We call it Six Sigma. That is to minimize defectives, almost zero. Six Sigma approaches. So he emphasized the importance of lean and all. Together with lean, now they talk about lean Six Sigma, both together. That is how things have been changed, especially in the developed part of the world. We as a developing country, we have some businesses here contributed to the global supply chain. So the aligning with the global changes, operations in Sri Lanka businesses also may require some adjustments. That is what they are doing. That is what we can see. We can't just ignore them. Thank you. Data analysis and especially analytics and all, data mining, data analytics, that has gained a lot of popularity, especially to make customized decisions. And for that, what we call AI and all, and machine learning and all, they have become very popular now to design new systems, new algorithms and all, and then identifying customer patterns and all, then supplying the best solutions for the customers and all. For that, data-driven decision making, data analytics and all have become extremely popular these days. Business process redesigning, business process re-engineering, BPR, that is to introduce radical changes, especially to improve the performance and all, that gains a lot of popularity. Before it, they didn't know agile, right? Agile operations. But in the last 1.5 decades or so, especially during the last decade, especially during the COVID, and after that, we are now talking more about agile approach to production. How to respond to disruptions quickly and then bounce back and readjust to the situation. That has been a lot of concerns. Agile approach. It's really great. We have identified it. So aligning with the agile approach, how to improve the operations facility, how to improve the operation systems and face disruptions, face various other obstacles. Great. Agile operations, AGILE. Do you have some points not mentioned by the other people? Kaizen, right? Aligning with TQM, right? Aligning with TQM, Kaizen, continuous improvements, what we call it, CI. And Kanban, he mentioned about Kanban. So also, as a part of TQM, they develop, that is to minimize the inventory levels and all. That has been a lot of popularity. Not only in factories, even at service centers, maybe restaurants, using Kanban system. Reconfigurable manufacturing. Right? They also mentioned about it. Supply chain resilience, aligning with agile, supply chain resilience. That has been a lot of popularity. Great. We have identified many latest concepts. The purpose of that activity was to give you an idea. Things are getting changed. Right. Aligning with the global changes, aligning with the market changes, businesses may require upgrading their operation systems as quickly as possible. Otherwise, they won't be able to compete in the market. And can operations management initiate those changes alone? Can they? They can't. Although operations is mainly responsible for bringing such improvements, can they do that alone? They can't. In order to get the advantages to the business as a whole will have to adapt. They have to bring such changes. In it, you have a role to play, like accountants, finance managers, and all. Especially to evaluate their projects and then to give their approvals and all. Then improve the operations. Without improving, can we survive? As business organizations, we can't survive. A global trend, global question. Right? From the technology side, from sustainability side, from IT side, from cost side, from quality side, there are various different challenges. Unlike good old days, there the main focus was on cost reduction, efficiency. Which is the main focus of finance managers and accountants. If you are still focusing on that, how to reduce cost, how to improve the efficiency, will that be sufficient? So we'll have to base our operations concept on those initial concepts, like division of labor, right? Those are the initial concepts, and labor specialization, right? Efficiency, productivity. Yes, of course, they are important, right? But we have to upgrade our operations system, aligning with the market changes, global trends. That is the responsibility of all the middle level managers and the senior level managers. Like what you all become in future. And for that, you should know about it, especially this quality focus. That is a must. Especially these ISO accreditations and all. Here, ISO accreditations have become a must. In the globalization focus, various other concepts that you should know and that you have identified here. This is tell you that now in which industrial revolution we are in terms of technology, and that will be the assignment part that we are going to do. Yeah, which wave of industrial revolution? AI is in the final and the latest wave of it. What is the initial wave? What we call it industrial revolution, right? With what was the when that was happened? Industrial revolution. What is the industrial revolution club here? Yeah. Rapid expansion of production, right? Especially Europe and US. Somewhere in 1850s to 20th century, initial part of 20th century, right? It's what they call when they invented this steam engine, right? Those were the periods where mostly the operations were complete operations were performed using manpower, people, manpower. And then when this steam engine was invented, that had contributed to introduce a lot of machines in the production processes, and those machines were run with the support of steam engines. That led to the industrial revolution 1. Yeah, within the shorter time period, they could expand the production in most of the industry, from steel to agriculture. So that was industrial revolution 1, and which wave we are in at the moment. Oh, that is what we call 4.0. In between, we have 2.0 and 3.0. Find a little more details. They are more relevant for operations management. So that is how operations technologies have been changed. In fact, what you see here is the main technology that led to the second wave of industrial revolution. We call 2.0. That is moving assembly lines introduced by Ford company. Yeah, initially the main focus was on labor specialization, division of labor and labor specialization. What do you know about division of labor? That is the main concept behind Industrial Revolution 1. Segregation of production work, and then assign small tasks to each worker. Right. And thereby worker becomes specialized in what they do, and then they can produce more. That is the initial concept. And as a result, labor specialization. But here in the second, the concept introduced by Ford, that is to assemble a car, standardized car, through a line. In it, there are different workstations. Workers are completing certain processing steps and moving product is moving forward. So at the end of the process, you get the final product. So in that arrangement, they could expedite the production, produce more. That led to second industrial revolution, it says. And as a result, many industries learn how to expedite the production through assembly lines. There is automation somewhere in 1950s, 50s to 60s. Then there onwards. That is the third wave of it. Now we call it fourth wave. That is the digitalized automation. I'll find a little more details about it. So that is the history of operations management. Throughout the history, the focuses of operations management have been changed. In order to align our operation systems with the global trends, we have to understand it. Let me conclude this. Now, many such changes were introduced, mainly considering the business environment changes. What has happened in the environment? Right. There have been many changes in the business environment. Increased cost-based competition, quality expectations have become higher. Almost all the industries, there's a higher demand for better service. In industries, more choices, more varieties are available so that customers can select the best. Technologies are rapidly changing. Those are market changes. New products were introduced frequently. If you think about the, let's say, digital devices, mobile phones and all, every 3 months' time, sometimes lesser than that, new devices, new technologies are introduced. So there are many such. Physical sensitivity, environmental impacts are more transparent and more concerned. Legal regulations are there. Greater security awareness. And due to many such business environment changes, there are many operations management responses for a longer period of time, like globalization of operations, information-based technologies, co-creation of services, internet-based integration of operations activities, supply chain management, and many others. Just go through this. So as responses to these environmental changes, operations have introduced many such new concepts. So that in today's context, operations managers are not just supposed to manage their core functions. We identified earlier key operations management responsibility. That is not enough. What was the second thing we understood? Not only operations key activities, but interrelationships between other departments. In addition to that, operations managers are now supposed to face these new challenges faced by businesses, and for that, respond to such challenges from operations improvement. Facing to new challenges like globalization, supply chain partnering, environmental protection, and sustainability. Nowadays, operations managers are more responsible. Innovation and technology management, lean operations, risk management like agile and resilience, change management, and stakeholders perspective, and many others. Can you understand it? So this is just to understand the scope of operations management responsibilities have been expanded. Can operations managers handle it alone? As a unit, the entire business, All the middle and senior level managers are responsible for that. So operations management is no longer limited to operations management. It's the responsibility of all the managers, business managers. And this subject will help you getting an understanding how to perform your line management responsibilities, like accountants and finance managers, and contribute to the business. That is right. Any big questions you want to ask from me? Any doubts or any quick questions? Don't worry if you don't understand some of these techniques. No issue. Yeah, any doubts? Any questions from team? You should have some doubts. Unlike undergraduate students, just after A-level they're studying, will have experience, so that you should have some doubts.
Yeah. So important that
I couldn't follow you.
manpower management, human resource management,
Human resource management, manpower management,
how important that for management.
operations management. What do you think in today's context? In various different industries, we have considered manpower management or human resource management, what they call now talent management, right? Talent management, how that is important, to what extent that is critical in today's businesses, especially from operations management point of view. That is his concern. What do you think? That question is very much relevant in the Sri Lankan context today more than any other time. Why is that? The migration, not only the managerial staff, in fact, operating level staff, with their experience, with their technical knowledge, experience, they are migrating. So that it will be a severe issue in no time in Sri Lanka. So that we need to understand, especially policymakers and government, and we'll have to understand it and respond quickly. So, what do you think? How critical trained workers, experienced workers for a business, for an economy? Only to highlight, I think many of you can understand. Well, there are two types of operation systems. One is the typical operation systems we see in countries like Sri Lanka and this part of the world, labor-intensive operation systems. Their main technology used there, or main form of conversion is land-based. We call them labor-intensive operations. Garment factories to many service operations. They are labor-intensive. What is the other operation system? What is the other type of operation system? Capital-intensive operation system. Where mainly the machines and then especially automated machines are used with minimum workforce involvement. Right. So this question is mostly relevant for what? Labor-intensive operations. So in developing countries like Sri Lanka and this part of the world, we get mostly businesses, operations that we classify as labor-intensive operations. From garment factories to shoe manufacturing to printing to any other service. What we call BPO operations and no, business process outsourcing and no, that is labor based. What happens when we are unable to recruit talent workforce, skilled workforce? Undoubtedly, the quality of our outputs would be reduced. And then, of course, we will have to recruit new workers and train them, and it takes longer time and it will be expensive also. And we will have to spend a little longer time until they are sufficiently experienced to introduce the product. As a result, what we will lose the competitive advantage we had previously. So, like the quality, the MA is known for their quality. Because of the experienced workforce, of course, with the machinery and other technologies, but experienced workforce is the hard. So when we lose them, very difficult for them to recruit more and train them again up to that level. So that will be a main issue. Almost all the industries in Sri Lanka. So even we see in front of all these factories, even now they have, that has been there for a very long time. New recruits, vacancies are available. Everywhere. This one side of it. Critical. More than any other departments, operations department may find it difficult to continue without talent work or the qualified workers. Experienced work. We cannot ignore that. We shouldn't take this for granted. During a crisis, many things can happen. Many things in this nature can happen, but we'll have to find some ways to overcome them. Operations management is one such area that is neglected everywhere, right? So, that is neglected everywhere because they think they can easily replace this part. If not in Sri Lanka, we can produce in some other part of the world. We can put up some factories, recruit some workers, and start producing from there. Or else we can outsource now and still supply to the market. Outsource. We don't produce. We find suppliers. We do minimum value adding, and we sell the final product. That is the business. We can outsource. Of course, we can outsource. Then finally, someone should produce. Some businesses should be involved. I think I didn't answer your question properly, but did I? With this issue, losing experienced workforce would be a critical challenge for operations management. That one, for sure. Well, that happens during a crisis. When everything, every other thing settles down, this thing will also be settled down to some extent. How about other things? I'm not going to explain every point here, thinking that you can understand to some extent. In operations, how that is, that has become a challenge. As one of your friends correctly mentioned, lean is about what? Lean. I hope you have heard of it, right? This concept coming from initially from Japan. Japan manufacturing industries, especially from Toyota, as you correctly pointed out. And not only Toyota, most of the other automobile industry and other industries also. We will discuss more about it later, but for the time being, lean is all about two things. One is minimizing the wastage of the operation system. And on the other side, enhancing the customer value, customer satisfaction. So while minimizing the wastage, how to enhance the customer value is a concern of lean. So when all the other competing firms are working towards that, can one or other organizations just ignore it? They will also have to reduce wastage. And in lean approach, waste is not just the waste that happens during the production. Right? As you correctly pointed out, when we produce something, there can be a wastage through the process. Wastage of materials, wastage of, due to defectives. Right? You produce defective items sometimes. You will have to rework them. So there can be defectives. So that is just one form of waste, but according to lean philosophy, there are other forms of waste. Producing more than required. Then, of course, non-value adding activities in a process. Everything they consider as wastage, and they try to minimize it. And as a result, their processes are more efficient. And because of that, they can produce the products and offer them to the market at low cost if needed. Otherwise, with a higher profit margin. High quality products at low cost. That has become a possibility with lean operation. So that when one company is doing that, say for an example, when Toyota is implemented that, Toyota has implemented that, so the other automobile manufacturers will have to compete with them. Right? So all the European and US manufacturers, they were focusing on quality. Now they will have to maintain the same quality while reducing the cost. Because Toyota being able to produce more or less same quality, probably lower than the European quality, right? But sufficiently adequate to the market customers. And offering the product relatively low cost, extremely low cost. So that other automobile manufacturers had to respond to it, and then that is why they have started practicing like Six Sigma and all. So then there are new challenges like lean. Operations managers will have to implement them and thereby respond to the market and be competitive. That is what you need to know at the moment. We'll discuss things in detail. Any other questions you have? So it's not only about operations management. The responsibilities of operations managers. It's all about how businesses should be managed in competitive markets now. So this subject will be useful. I will explain the other things next time, but the last slide here. That will give you a few reasons why you should study operations management as a part of your accounting specialized degree. So, operations management is one of the major functions of any organization. So, when we want to study how businesses are managed, of course, we need to study operations. Without that, we cannot understand the full how businesses are operated and managed. we want to know how products and services are created, produced. And for that, we need to understand operations management. When we want to know what operations managers do, we need to study operations management. Not to become operations managers, but to manage businesses. And especially to become entrepreneurs, you need to have a complete understanding of operations management, especially in that particular industry. Operations management is a costly part of any business. That is why finance managers, accountants should know about operations. All managers, because their specialization may require operations management knowledge. That is why we believe without operations management subject knowledge, business education is incomplete. That is why we have this subject. It's a very practical subject, very interesting one as well. But undergraduate level, we have been basically focusing on the basic concepts. I feel like you may require a little more details. Isn't so? Not just the basics, but some latest developments. Am I correct or wrong? Because you can understand those basics quickly. Beyond that, what you need. So I might slightly change the content and simplify the content also. And with your support, because you are also having some experience, knowledge. Let's try to have a more productive, more useful content here. To conclude our session today, I will just give you a brief introduction to the assignment so that you can plan it and come prepared for the next meeting. We have already formed groups for group work, because for this also I thought of considering a group assignment because it would be easier for you at your age, even other commitments also. I think you'll be able to easily complete a group assignment more than an individual assignment. Am I correct? Or do you prefer individual assignment? But the size of a group should be limited to 5 maximum members. 3 to 5, would that be enough? 3 can also work together as a group, in a group. Maximum would be 5. Is that all right? They do. I mean, they operate from the country, so yes, that's so. So shall I make it then 4 to 6? 4 to 6, minimum 4, maximum 6. So this is what you need to do. It doesn't matter they virtually join in the program or so, but they will have to study one selected organization. Could be a manufacturing firm or a service firm. Hello, you can write it down. I will anyway update prepare a document and upload it. But if I just forget about it, you'll have to write it down. 4 to 6 members can work together. You can select an organization of your choice. Could be preferably an organization operated from Sri Lanka or based in Sri Lanka. Could be a manufacturing one or a service organization. So the main area of the assignment is its technology, operations technology related challenges. Like I will explain that. Operations technology related challenges that we are going to study. So what I expect from you all is select an organization, contact their management, especially operations management, and then of course research and development or the technology related experts there. Operations technology related. So as the main part of the research, main part of this assignment, you need to collect some information from them. You can visit the factory or you can arrange virtual meetings with the management and ask some questions on their technology related challenges, like operations related technology. You can begin even the report with brief introduction to the organization, a very brief introduction, maybe 1 page, very brief introduction to the organization, its background, its history, type of products they manufacture, how long they have been there. So 1 page summary, 1 page introduction to the company. And then probably 2 pages summarizing the nature of operations you could see there. 2 pages of summary. What are the normal operations you could observe that? No need to provide more details. Just a summary of activities they do, type of operations they do there. Just to get an understanding. So the main part of study is about the technology challenges. You can ask from there. So the existing technologies they use. Depending on the industry, the technological knowledge, technological know-how required would be different. So that you can talk to them and identify what are the technology-related decisions we have already made. So what technology you are using and how that help, how those technologies help the firm to manage their operations. Existing technology, but they have initiated now. So that is the main part of it. Maybe 3 to 4 pages on that. 3 to 4 pages on the existing technology, and maybe well, the next part of it is as per the information you get from the management. What are the key technology-related challenges they have faced now? They are facing now. You as outsiders, you are not aware of it. You can get it from the management. So, what are the key technology-related challenges they are facing as of now? Say for an example. Say for example, you selected a retail business in Sri Lanka, let's say Keys, supermarket, right? A service organization. And then when you ask about their operations and the technologies used, they might tell you when it comes to inventory management, when it comes to managing the showrooms, managing the customer relationships and all, what are the daily technologies they are using? So I'm just giving you an example. So what are the technologies they are using to manage their day-to-day operations? And then of course there are challenges. So they probably might tell you that they have this online order taking and then dispatching the products and all. And for that, various different technology challenges they have come across now. So likewise, in the industry you selected, the organization you selected, you have to identify at least 3 to 5 key technology challenges. Maybe 2 to 3 maximum pages on those key challenges. If possible, as a group, you can recommend 2, 3, 4, probably 3, maximum 3 suggestions. Your suggestions aiming at their challenges. Maybe they themselves will tell you something. Or you as a group can come up with 2-3 suggestions to face such technology challenges in there. So altogether, that could be 12 to 15 pages maximum report that we will have to submit. One assignment, but we will have presentations on the same content. After submission, we will all the group members will get the same group mark for the report, as well as for the presentation. But based on the individual performance, I will allocate 5 marks also. Right. So mostly it's a group project divided into 2 activities: report and the presentation. We'll give you more details, the deadlines and other details later. But for the time being, select your group members, select a company, probably one, the organization that you work for, you get. Take good care of yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.